If you're new to the channel, I talk about everything random that matters to you. And so in today's video, we're actually going to talk about inflation and how it's going to be in 2030. So we're going to start off the video by watching a video. All right, guys, let's go. This is by Vox. Why buying a house in the U.S. is so hard right now.
Over the past 50 years, up to 2022. Now add income onto it. Yeah.
Median wages have not kept pace with the increase in the cost of housing.
This is Michelle Dickerson. She studies
Why it's become so hard for lower income and middle income people to become and remain middle class now.
Let's go back about 50 years and look at a couple whose household income is exactly the national U.S. median at that time. In 1972 money, about $10,000. Imagine, right? They want to buy a house. The median U.S. home price at that time was about $29,000. That is about 3 times their income.
Before the 1980s, it was possible for a young person to graduate from high school, find a job that was a full-time, 40-hour-a-week job with benefits that paid them enough for them to be able to buy a home.
Now let's go 50 years forward and run those numbers for 2022. Median income, median home price. This house is more than 6 times this household's income.
Yeah, you see, guys, right there. That's the problem. Is that you see like median income in 2022, $74,580. Meanwhile, home prices are $479,500. So back in the day, you used to be able to buy a house relatively to your salary or to your wage. And now it's gotten to the point where a house, in this example, this is like a 5x or a 6x of what the average person's salary is. Or this isn't even average, this is median. So average would actually be lower, but yeah, let's keep watching.
So that is what we're looking at.
Yeah, you see right here, look at this. So your average salary or your median salary income of 1972 went up from 9,600 to 74,000. Okay, that's let's see. Let's pull my phone out. Let's do some quick math here. Okay, so 74,580 divided by 9,697. Okay, so that's a 7.5x of income over the last, let's just say, 50 years. Okay, now the home values. See, 479,500 divided by 29,200. Home values have 16x'd. So clearly in this video, you can see that salaries, they have went up, but home values have went up way more in comparison. Meaning that someone that could afford a house back in the 70s is now SOL because essentially the home values have shot up so much, so rapidly. Wages haven't kept up, and that's the problem in the market today. So let's keep watching a little bit.
When we go back to that chart of income and housing prices, again, adjusted for inflation, and compare this gap to this gap. Now, as for the home prices themselves, let's zoom in to make that data easier to see, bring it up to date. You can see that the prices are starting to go down a little bit in 2023. But part of why they got so high in the first place is a lack of supply. This chart shows what's called the homeowner vacancy rate over about 70 years. It's the percent of homes in the U.S. that are actually for sale. And it's currently the lowest since we started collecting data. That is partly the result of restrictive zoning laws. Locally set rules all across the U.S. that regulate things like where homes can and can't build.
All by design, by the way. This is all by design. They do this purposely. Like, the big fish own real estate, guys, right? The big fish own real estate. You have BlackRock, you have, State Street, all these guys trying to buy real estate. And they're going to supposedly own like 60% of all real estate by 2030. So that's what you have to keep in mind too, guys, when you're trying to calculate all this. Who is the benefit in the home values going up? Yeah, you have your small landlord. You have your homeowner that hopes their properties go up in value, right? But see, when the average homeowner hopes their property goes up in value, or the investors, right? That's great for the investor and the homeowner, but down the line for their kids or their kids' trying to buy houses, if wages don't keep up, you're going to have a crisis, right? So.
Units a building can have in it and how densely housing can be built. It leads to fewer homes getting built, which leads to fewer homes to buy. And as for the homes that are for sale, that's what we're looking at here. This chart splits all homes on the market in the U.S. into tiers by price. So these are the lower cost homes and these are the higher cost homes, and it tracks over time what percentage of the market each tier represents. You can see that over the past few years, homes that cost less than $200,000 have made up less and less of what's available, and homes
because those are the houses that are like the entry point for people that are able to get into the housing market. See, a lot of those people that would traditionally buy under 200K, those 200K houses are now 250, 300, 400K, right, in some markets. So, like, you literally, like, if you're, like, I'm sure, like, in your market, wherever you are, you'll see this. In my market, like, San Antonio Metro, Austin Metro, you'll have a little, 900 square footer, 1,000 square footer house, easily, even if it's in, like, a not good area, easily going to cost you, if it's a rehab, 250 plus. 250, 300K, depending on where it is in the city. If it's in like a downtown area near some shopping, 400 or 500 for sure. If it's in like the Austin area, you're talking like 800 to $1 million. These are like 50, 60, 70-year-old homes, right? That would traditionally be under 200, but they've been rehabbed and they're in a good area. And the housing stock is becoming less and less affordable. So supply and demand. So these houses that were under 200 right here are now, like, you see in the graph, it's getting less and less. So, all right, guys, we're going to actually go to another video. Let's see here. So this is I thought this was kind of funny. Funny and kind of scary at the same time. So let's watch this. Let's see.
Oh no, I just want the single water, not the bundle. It's $12.99 for the single. Are you sure? That's really expensive for one water. Inflation. Great. Well, I'll take this toilet paper too. The total is now going to be $56.75. $56.75? That can't be right. Actually, no, you're right. That's not right. That's what I thought. It's $300. What? Well, it was $56.75, but because of inflation, it went up to $300. That's ridiculous. Just went up to $300. So you might want to purchase quick. Okay, all right, fine. Here, just bring up this check real quick. The total with the bread plus tax is going to be $37,000. $12.99. Oh no, I just want the single water, not the bundle. It's $12.99 for the single. Are you sure? That's really expensive for one water. Inflation. Great. Well, I'll take this toilet paper too. The total is now going to be $56.75. $56.75? That can't be right. Actually, you know what? You're right. That's not right. That's what I thought. It's $300. What? Well, it was $56.75, but because of inflation, it went up to $300. That's ridiculous. Just went up another $300. So you might want to purchase quick. Okay, all right, fine. Here, just bring up this check real quick. The total with the bread plus tax is going to be $37,000. How's that going to be cash or credit? $12.99. Oh, no,
Guys, look, that's wild, right? It's like, I know it's satire, but I mean, and they're exaggerating a little bit, but really at the end of the day, like, that's kind of where things are. I do believe in a not so far future. I do think that like we already see like in fast food restaurants now, like where like combos are over $10 now. In some states, they're like 15. Right? I mean, you're seeing the costs go up everywhere. Like I could see. I mean, you go out to eat. I mean, a cup of like a soda or a sweet tea at a restaurant is now like $4 or $5, guys. Some places even more, maybe $6, right? In certain states, you're seeing the costs go up dramatically, guys. Inflation is not going away. But in this video, I just wanted to show this to you guys because I think it's pretty funny. I got another video for you guys. Here we go.
money. My gas was $3 a gallon today. Isn't that expensive? Wait till you see what the prices are like where I'm from. Because of inflation or what? Yup, inflation. It grows about 2% every year. In May 2021, it was 5%. 5%? So what are the prices of things like coffee or milk in your year? Well, because of the current rate of inflation, coffee costs $9 and a gallon of milk costs $7.66. My God, is there anything I can do? Well, one way to protect yourself is to buy things like stocks, real estate, or commodities like gold. gas again? Doing money. My gas was
Yeah, so like they're talking about like essentially your milk being like close to $10, gas being practically double. Yeah, I actually do see that. I actually think it's going to be way before 2050. I mean, I see it being way quicker than that. I can see 2030, especially if something like happens globally. Look, so now we're going to go over here to this other article, guys. Look at this. All right. Let's go ahead and move over my tab real quick. All right. So this is by CNBC. This is an older article, guys, but I saw it and I was like, wow, this is interesting. They're kind of telling you what's going to happen. So 1/3 of U.S. workers could be jobless by 2030 due to automation. So if you take that article and you can, I guess, traverse it or relay it over to what we just covered about inflation and home prices at the beginning of the video not being affordable by 2030. So now you're seeing this article, 1/3 of U.S. workers could be jobless by 2030 due to automation. Guys, where do you see that, being an option for most people? Look, key points. McKinsey research says that up to 1/3 of U.S. workers and 800, almost a billion people globally could be displaced by 2030. Guys, that is going to be astronomically, catastrophic for the labor force. Obviously, the researchers found that 60% of occupations have at least 30% of constitute work activities that could be automated. Income polarization could continue in the United States and other advanced economies. They added, McKinsey suggests that governments can help retrain workers for supplement income as people adjust. Essentially, guys, AI, automation, all this stuff is going to definitely start affecting, the economy, people's jobs in the United States, outside the United States, and this whole 2030 inflation projection is going to definitely be affecting everyone, not just Americans. But so, yeah, guys, and then look, what your bills is right here. What your bills could look like by 2030, right? They're telling you in your face. So let's see. By 2030, it says housing could be almost 27% more expensive by 2030. That means a house that costs $400,000 today could run you $506,388 in 10 years, depending on where you are buying in the future. You could have been paying much more than that, depending on where you live. In fact, by 2030, the average home in Washington State will probably run you $782,708. Okay, pretty wild. That means pretty much across the board, your average house is going to be over $500,000. And then food and beverage, average annual inflation rate, 2.33. Food and drinks may be about 26% more expensive by 2030. That means a trip to grocery store that costs you $250 now could set you back more than $314. If you like fresh fruit, your grocery bill could climb even higher sooner. That's because prices for fresh fruit have been rising at about twice the pace of meat, poultry, and fish. Pretty wild. And then obviously I was on to talk about healthcare. Healthcare is going to end up going up. If you're paying around $5,000 a year for healthcare, it could go up to $6,000 in 10 years. And then let's see, in 2030, those costs could rise to over $350,000 for retired couples, spanning from $300,000 in 2021. Gas and transportation. Fuel and transportation are likely to be nearly 15% more expensive by 2030. That means a car could cost that costs $40,000 now, could run you $45,858 in 10 years. However, electric vehicles could act as a price disruptor. There could be as many as 145 million EVs on the road by 2030. Plus, some car makers are working to cut the costs for batteries for EVs in half by 2030, compared with self-driving technology in 10 years. So pretty much your vehicles are going to go up. Transportation is going to go up as well, guys. College, same thing. A public 4-year anniversary may cost 62% more by 2030. Annual tuition and fees. $4,000 today for a 2-year college degree could be over $6,300 by 2030, and for a 4-year public university that runs you $20,000 today, you're looking at over $32,000 within the next 10 years. So pretty much, guys, everything's going to be going up, as you see in these articles I've been covering. So if you like the content, go ahead and subscribe my channel. I have a new channel, I'm trying to grow it. So like, follow, share, and yeah, guys, I'll talk to you later. Peace out.